It's now time to get you posted on the very latest from the world of sports here on the AM show on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. My name is Asari Bediako. Now, many thought they would be the whipping boys in Group C of the UEFA Champions League, but not only did AS Roma top the table, they got 4 points from Chelsea, who are champions of the most exciting league in the world. Highlights of last night's games and today's fixtures will take center stage in the next 10 minutes. Let's begin with Patrick Razak, who plays his club football for Accra Hearts of Oak. He was a key man for the Continental Clubbusters last season, and he has become the toast of many football fans across the country. Now, the creative winger has been telling Joy Sports the secrets behind his recent fine form.
No, I think from my youth age, I was fast because I had my first coach from Somalia. His name is called Jabi. Yeah, he's a coach from America. Okay. And came. So I think at the age of 9 years, he picked me up. So I left my parents to stay with him. So he was the one who, let me say, started training me. So he really worked me a lot because he saw that I can bring out something or have something in me. So he started asking me to go into athletics because he could say that I have the speed, but I need to be. So in school, I normally play football. I don't go for athletics,
but he moved you there.
He moved me, so he asked me to start going for 100 meters, and 200 meters because he could say that I can use the speed. So that's when I started going to athletics. So in my school, whenever we go for athletics, I normally become first. So I was enjoying it. Like whenever I go with my colleagues, I beat them with a huge gap. So I was like, I'm doing better in athletics. So all those
times. I think that's how we came into it. It fell into place. Yeah. So when they see you dashing down with the ball, sometimes 100 meters run are going.
Sometimes I remember. Sometimes when you go to games, I know I do both athletics
and football.
So,
Accra Hearts of Oak creative winger Patrick Razak in that interview with Joy Sports George Adujuna. Let's now talk about the UEFA Champions League. It wasn't an easy night for Manchester United at the Old Trafford because they came from a goal down to beat CSK Moscow 2-1 at the Theatre of Dreams. Highlights of that game for you.
Top spot in Group A was top priority for Manchester United, who welcomed CSKA Moscow to Old Trafford, with the Russians still in contention. All United needed was a point heading into the encounter, and they made the intentions clear early on, although Marcus Rashford was denied by the post. United were oozing confidence. An exquisite Juan-Mata flick found Rashford, but Igor Akinfeev in the visitors' goal intervened. The Russian stopper was being given a thorough workout as Luke Shaw asked questions. The follow-up, though, should have been tucked away by Romelu Lukaku. Despite United dominating, controversy struck as halftime approached. The Russians opened the scoring.
They got round the back of Shaw again. Shagoyev waiting in the middle. It's pulled back and put in. Now it hit Shagoyev on the way through. Is he offside?
United hit the ground running in the second half. Again, Rashford went on a run, but again Akinfeev produced a save. The United pressure eventually reaped reward. Paul Pogba found Lukaku, who prodded past Akinfeev. Lightning struck twice at the theatre as a minute later, Rashford handed United the lead.
And here's Mata. Rashford, will it be 2 in a minute? Oh yes it will. They've turned it around in double quick time.
United had the wind in their sails. Rashford again at the heart of the attack as Antonio Valencia pulled the trigger from 20 yards. With the clock winding down, CSKA pushed for a leveller. Alan Zagoyev, however, was superbly denied by Sergio Romero. 2-1 is how things ended.
So great win for Manchester United, who finished as leaders of Group A. So we're going to show you how the table looks like. Manchester United finished with 15 points. Basel of Switzerland finished in second with 12 points. CSK Moscow in third with 9 points. And Benfica, they have a campaign to forget. They lost all their games. Benfica, amazing, incredible. Benfica could not win a game. They lost 6 games, and the goal difference is -13. Not too good for a team from a great footballing nation like Portugal. Now, let's talk about impressive Bayern Munich, who defeated PSG 3-1 at the Allianz Arena Stadium in Munich, but the Bavarians still finished second.
There was an all-star cast packed into the Allianz Arena when Bayern Munich welcomed Paris Saint-Germain. Both teams had already qualified, and after smashing the group stage goal-scoring record, the Parisians started well as Kylian Mbappe asked questions early on. There was a hint of revenge motivating Bayern, who were on the receiving end of a beating in the reverse in Paris, and inside the first 10 minutes they went ahead as Robert Lewandowski handed them the lead. Despite trailing, the Parisians' formidable attack continued to flex their muscle, but again they were denied as Sven Ulrich thwarted Neymar. At the other end though, Bayern soon doubled their advantage.
Now with James Rodriguez curling that one in, good ball, it's 2-0! Corentin Tolisso, 10-point cross, superb header.
The Bavarian Giants took a 2-goal lead into the break. Within 5 minutes of the second half though, PSG were back in it. Edinson Cavani picked out Mbappe, who had no problem providing a finish. The former Monaco forward was in the mood to impress, as he again asked questions of Ulrich. But there were other Frenchmen in the colours of Bayern who impressed just as much, as Kingsley Coman assisted for Tolisso, who grabbed his second of the match. Mbappe shone brightest for PSG, but time and again the Bayern number 2 came between him and a second. 3-1 is how things ended.
So Bayern Munich beating star-studded PSG at the Allianz Arena in Munich. Bayern Munich finished second in Group B. So PSG in first with 15 points, the same points with Bayern Munich, but they go because of better head-to-head. Celtic in third with 3, and Anderlecht of Belgium also 3 points. They finished in bottom spot of the group. Let's now focus on the blockbuster last night, Chelsea versus Atletico Madrid. The game ended 1-1 at the Stamford Bridge Stadium in London.
See, who guaranteed qualification to the last 16 with the win over Karabakh last month, met Atletico Madrid in Group C of the UEFA Champions League at Stamford Bridge in London. Atletico, who are third in La Liga, needed to win and hope Roma dropped points at Karabakh to reach the knockout stage. Chelsea old boy Fernando Torres nearly gave Atletico the early lead, his shot going over the goal. Chelsea enjoyed most of the first half possession, and Alvaro Morata swiveled and shot from just outside the penalty area. The ball curled, but not enough to sneak inside the goal. Atletico were caught napping with a quick Chelsea throw 6 minutes later, and Morata very nearly made them pay. Jan Oblak making a good save. And Morata continued to be the biggest threat. A stunning left-foot shot forced Oblak into palming the ball clear. Relieved of the pressure to qualify, Chelsea were in fine form, and Zappacosta stepped this way and that before his powerful drive was well saved by Oblak. The chances were coming thick and fast for Chelsea. Andreas Christensen's header was saved by Oblak. And a moment later, Morata forced the busiest man on the pitch into another good save. Atletico came agonizingly close to scoring. Filipe Luiz's shot bounced off the post, and the headed rebound by Koke went into the arms of Courtois. But Atletico made amends a few minutes later.
Wrestle Torres with the flick on. So 1-0 Atletico Madrid. He's had a nightmarish time in the Champions League this season, but has he scored the goal that keeps him in the competition?
Despite the goal, Chelsea continued to be the more aggressive team, and a short corner by Fabregas chipped the ball across to Christensen. His powerful header flew just wide. But the dam wall eventually burst. A clearing header from a corner reached Eden Hazard, and his shot was deflected into his own goal by defender Stefan Savic. And Chelsea should have taken the lead a minute later. Atletico's defence had disintegrated. It was left to Oblak once more to deny Morata. Substitute Willian should have done better with a golden opportunity presented him by Hazard's cross in the last 10 minutes. A hard-fought draw for Antonio Conte's men as they advanced to the last 16.
So not a result the two teams will savor. Chelsea wanted that win to finish as leaders of Group C, and Atletico Madrid needed that win to stay in the UEFA Champions League. So what that means is that they will now be playing in the Europa League this season. So let's check out table in Group C, and AS Roma finished as winners with 11 points. Chelsea in second with 11, and Roma topped the group because of better goal difference. Don't forget that Roma beat Chelsea 3-0 at the Estadio Olimpico, and the first leg ended 3-3 at the Stamford Bridge. So it means that Roma are better when it comes to head-to-head. Atletico Madrid, for the first time in about 5 seasons, are missing out on the UEFA Champions League knockout stage. They finished third with 7 points, and Karabakh of Azerbaijan in last with just 2 points. We now talk about Barcelona, and they went unbeaten in Group D after beating Sporting Lisbon at the Camp Nou. Paco Alcácer scored the first goal for Barcelona, but their former player, Jeremy Mathieu, scored an own goal.
Sporting Lisbon still harboured hopes of progression as they travelled to the Nou Camp. The Portuguese heavyweights, though, had never beaten Barca, and the Blaugrana settled first with Andre Gomes asking questions. While Lionel Messi started on the bench, Luis Suarez spearheaded the attack, and he gave Rui Patricio in the Sporting goal plenty to ponder. Sporting chances were few and far between, but when they did threaten, Jasper Cillessen in the Barca goal wasn't troubled. It was goalless at the break. Sporting made a bright start to the second half. Chelson Martins did everything right but hit the target. The deadlock, though, was soon broken as Barca took the lead through Paco Alcácer.
Flicano, an excellent goal from Paco Alcácer.
The visitors continued to probe. Bastos found himself in the strike zone, but Cillessen saved well. Messi was eventually introduced as he became South America's top Champions League appearance maker, and he was up to his usual tricks, drawing a fine save from Patricio. With the game in stoppage time, the result was put beyond doubt as Barca grabbed a second. A cruel twist of fate saw former Barca man Jeremy Mathieu net an own goal on his return to the Nou Camp. 2-0 is how things ended. While Barca topped the Group D standings, Sporting are off to the Europa League.
So Barca finished as leaders in Group D of the UEFA Champions League, and they have made it to the knockout stage. So this is how the table looks like in Group D. Barcelona finished with 14 points. Juventus, yesterday, they won 2-0 at Olympiacos, and by virtue of that result, they are now in second with 11. Sporting Lisbon in third with 7, and Olympiacos of Greece in last with just a point. Let's check our fixtures for today. 8 cracking games will come off later today. Liverpool versus Spartak Moscow, Feyenoord versus Napoli is a must-win for Mauricio Sarri's team. They need to win to keep their place in the Champions League. Maribor will play against Sevilla. The top liner is Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. Shakhtar Donetsk welcome Manchester City to Ukraine. RB Leipzig up against Besiktas of Turkey. Tottenham versus Apoel Nicosia of Cyprus. And FC Porto will play against AS Monaco at the Estadio do Dragão in Portugal. And before I sign off, let's talk athletics, because Russia has been banned from competing at next year's Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang by the International Olympic Committee. But Russian athletes can now prove they are clean, will be allowed to compete in South Korea under a neutral flag. It follows an investigation into allegation of state-sponsored doping at the 2014 Games hosted by Russia in Sochi. The decision has been widely condemned in Russia, with some politicians urging a boycott of the Games, though other officials have welcomed the chance for clean athletes to take part. And that's how we end sports here on the AM show on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. If you want to read more sports stories, make your way to the sports page on myjoyonline.com. You can also follow us on social media. On Twitter, we are at Joy Sports GH, and on Facebook, we are at Joy Sports. My name is Asari Bediako.